there. Okay, so what we're looking at today, or this particular paper here, is trying to do an interpretation of a level 2 functional skills paper from OCR. This would be one of the legacies. So let's just go through this. Obviously, some of you may not be too confident with your IT skills. What I suggest with this is sometimes one of the best ways of learning is actually to get there and play with the application itself, whether that be Word, whether that be PowerPoint, whether that be Excel. Excel, for example, is one thing that doesn't come naturally to us. It doesn't actually always come naturally to me, I openly admit that. But what I've tried to do in this paper here is at least show you how some of the formulas work, and at least give you ideas how things can work in Excel. Because some people have a lot of fear of Excel, just like they have fear of maths. Word might be something we use similarly most days. It's like actually typing an email, really. PowerPoint, perhaps not so much, but let's see where we go to with this particular paper we've got here today. So, one of the things in these tests they like you to do are to do screen dumps or screenshots. I prefer screenshots, it sounds a bit better. And what they will do is set you a question whereby you have to do search for something. So, in this particular question, we just saw previously, the thing would be to find details about the Village Hotel in Coventry, actually a place I stayed at a number of years back when I was working up that part of the world. So you can find out where it is or find out specific information. So in this case, they wanted to find a map. So I'm sure many of you are familiar with Google searches. So again, this is something you can practice on your own laptop quite happily. Do some Googling. Do some screenshots. You either can use the screenshot functional print screen on your computer. Normally it's press the CTRL button and then the print screen button, which is normally up towards the top right hand side of your keyboard. Or some of you might have a snip function in your Windows menu. Have a look. It will be in the pull-up menu you have for Windows. Scroll right down towards the bottom under snip and it will be there. And then what you can do is you can actually snip out what you want. So again, something to kind of have a play with. If not, if you have somebody younger at home that might be able to help you or more experienced in IT, get them to help you. Get everybody to join in, particularly these times at the moment. It's all helping our learning and progression, keeping us busy. So what I've tried to do here is show you how I approached it. I used Google. I used a screen zip here or screen snipper here, but you can use your print screen. And I went through logically to the screens, where through to do the search on the Google part, then find actually where I wanted in Google. I've actually then got the hotel itself, and then we've got the map. So this is actually the question they've actually asked here. So this will be the map. It's always good as well to put the link in where you actually found the ultimate information you want as well. Examiners tend to like that because they like to see what you've actually done. So again, what I suggest you do, have a read of this question. And actually have an experiment yourself with your laptop at home or your tablet. You might be able to do it with your phone, depending how it works. And what they also have is sometimes they have another question on these sections as well about things to be careful of. And this particular one is why is it important to guard against computer viruses when downloading information from the internet? For example, could import viruses that cause loss of data or loss of functionality of your computer system, or it could actually lock your computer up, it could wipe information out, it could be linked that worms in and actually steals your credit card details, and so on and so forth. So of course, again, in the times we are in, obviously be aware of fake emails, fake news coming through, and links that you're not sure of. If you're not sure, you delete that email straight out. So again, have a look through, quiet time, quiet reflection, and again, have a go at this question as best you can. Okay, so what we see here is a typical question whereby you will be given data files that you will have to use, and this will help you proceed to answer your question. But again, it's very important that you very carefully read the question, because although they may give you a whole list of files to use, you might not have to use all of them. You may only need to use one. So it's very important that you double check and read your question. So I'm going to try and tackle this question. It's a bit difficult, not so easy with using the PowerPoint version here. But what I'll try and do is give you some next steps and ideas how you can actually answer these questions. But what I also need you to think about as well, again, if you have access to a laptop or computer at home, is have a go at trying to do some of these type of exercises, be it in Excel or Word or PowerPoint, just to try and familiarise yourself. And again, as I said, if you've got somebody at home that might be a little bit more computer savvy than you, if you're not so confident, use their knowledge and use their background. So what we have here is the person concerned decided sales department needs a monthly newsletter. They want the March 2010 newsletter to include sales data and details of annual sales conference, and you've got to produce a newsletter. You've got the text you need, other information, and you've got steps to do, and you need to produce charts. Okay, so what will happen is that evidence will be needed. So if you're probably doing this paper-based, you'll have to print everything out. So obviously I haven't got all the files to here I can show you, but please speak to your tutors on this one. They have access to all these papers, and they can send these papers with all the files, particularly for ICT, through to you so you can actually practice with them. So don't look too daunted at this present moment in time. So one of the things that we're given on this one is the details to the left, where it says region, January and February, and they're all geographical different areas, lots of figures, is actually in a Word document. So you open that Word document up, select everything, and then you right click with your mouse and click on copy, or do Control C on your keyboard. You then paste all this information into an Excel spreadsheet using Control V, or again the paste function. Use the highlight the cells you need using then Control V, or again highlight the cells you need with your mouse, and then what will happen is right click and then you can transfer the data across. Now again, one of the questions that is here is that ultimately you actually need to filter and sort the data concerned. Why? Because we need to put it into numerical, alphabetical, or date order, for example. So in this one, ultimately, we're going to have to put everything into numerical order because we need to find what is the top seller, for example. So again, I'll try to do a screenshot here. Best way I can do this for the present moment in time. But again, have a try on your own computers at home. You always select the information you want. And then in this case, select the sort and filter option and come down to the filter option to set up the filter. Again, it looks a little complicated at the moment, but quiet reflection, go away and have a try. And then what I've done there is I've now see this little box will pop up here. I keep all the columns highlighted, click on the filter for January, select sort largest to smallest, click on OK, which is essentially what I've done here. Okay, sort largest, gone to OK, and then what will happen is this will put all the data into order of largest to smallest, which is what we actually need for this specific question. Again, you might need to spend some time experimenting, playing with this. Do so. It's a great way to learn because you learn from your mistakes and then you can work out from there what you need to do right next time. Again, this might look a little daunting, but what we're doing is creating a chart in Excel, and that is not as complicated as it may look. Creating charts in Excel is an excellent way of showing information from lots and lots of figures, and I don't know about you, but I get very confused when I see lots of figures like that. I just get very confused. However, if I've got it in a picture, because I can interpret things better from a picture, I can then see what's happening. So, following steps here, I've selected the areas that I want to know about. I then go to the insert menu option, and then we'll select recommended charts. You then have a chart option that comes up, types of chart you can use. With this one I'm going to use a bar chart because it's the most simplest, straightforward, and won't make your life complicated. Once you click on OK, it actually puts the chart directly into your Excel spreadsheet for you. But you might need to name it. So if you double click on, if you look at the bit here that says chart title, you can then type in what you want to call it. So I've done it in top 5 regions for January and February 2010. Again, play. This is how I ultimately learnt in the end with Excel. I know it sounds very unscientific, but sometimes, again, this is the best way with IT applications, is actually just go and have a play with them. And that way, again, you can learn a lot more. And again, you can actually write down what you've done correct. And then you have your actual manual for next time that you want to use it.